Been working on getting these machines in here. Uh, got the drill and mill situated, and I got the lathe in here. Fired it up, fixed a few things. The variable speed wasn't working on it, so I got the pulled some stuff off and figured out what was going on with it. I had a mechanical issue with it back here. Got that fixed, and then I bled the hydraulic system out, which is what this turns. You got 3 gear selections, and then you got 3, well, not 3, it's infinitely variable between the speeds, so it'll go anywhere in between, and it's just a CVT system. Just like a lot of other things used, but those are the slave cylinders there. And whenever you turn that lever up top, it pushes, has hydraulic pressure that pushes on that sheave and changes the gear ratio. So after I got the mechanical issue fixed, then I bled the hydraulics out, and everything was fine. It was working fine, but the seals were leaking in it. As you see, all the oil on the floor underneath it. The guy I got this from had replaced the seals, but these things have what's called U seals in them, and they have a O-ring backer in the middle of them, and that's what keeps the pressure on the seals to seal everything. Well, what the box of parts he gave me with it for the new stuff he replaced, there was a set of O-rings in there. I didn't know what they were for. I ordered some new seals for it since they were leaking, and I pulled it apart, and he failed to put the O-rings in the U seals, so I put the new. You have to destroy them basically to get them out. They're tough to get in, and I just put the new U seals in it and bled it back out. Seems to be working fine now. Anyway, since I got that done, I decided to go ahead. This thing had a noisy motor on it. The motor was very loud, had bearing noise in it, rear bearing to be exact. So I went ahead and pulled the motor out of it. No big deal. It has like a Lovejoy style coupler on it. You don't have to pull anything else apart. Just take the 4 nuts off and pull the motor out. It took longer to mark the wiring than it did to pull the motor out. Anyway, after I got the motor out, I started pulling it apart to put bearings in it, and that's when everything went to shit. Pulled the back cover off, and then the fan didn't want to come off. I even made a little puller for it, try to press it off. It just didn't want to move. So anyway, what I ended up doing finally, I pulled the coupler off of it and popped the front side of it off. No big deal. And then I flipped it upside down right here and attempted to drive the armature through the fan, which also was a flop. It could have went worse, but not much. What I finally ended up doing was took that hole saw on that drill. I hole sawed the fan off of it because I'd already chipped. Yeah, I'd already chipped a place out of it because this thing is cast aluminum and is very flimsy. So I went on damage control since it didn't want to come off, and I just drilled that out. And then I ended up just splitting the hub. You can see the hub here. I drilled and tapped it, tried to pull it, and everything I needed to do. And yeah, I ended up just having to split it like that, and then the armature fell out. So I think what happened was somebody had attempted to do something with this at some point in time, and they mushroomed the shaft inside of this. So the shaft would not slide through this anymore. Um, there's the bearings, both bearings in there. I'll get new bearings tomorrow, but yeah, I weld on this thing and everything I need to do, and it was just bad. It's got 2 flats on it for the set screws, as you see. And I got it set up in the old lathe that got moved over here, so now I'm gonna have to wire this thing back up. I'm gonna turn that shaft down. I'm gonna turn all the ugly out of it, and weld that back up, build it back up, and then turn it down again, and then mill 2 new flats on it, and then I'll have to make a new. I'll just have to make a new hub for it. Make a new hub and weld it back onto that fan blade. It's just the way it goes. Simple little job. Just turns to shit. But it's part of it. Really want to get this lathe going. I got several projects to go, and I got the part working that I was actually worried about. I think somebody had been in there before and mushroomed that thing out, so I don't know. We'll get it. And I mean me. It's just me here. I'll get it stabbed back together. I'll get some bearings tomorrow. Probably go ahead and turn that shaft down. Get it built back up, milled back in. Get it going. And hopefully we'll have something going soon in here. Like I said, I got several projects to do. Just no machinery to do it with right now. Alright. It's about enough talking. Y'all have a good one.